Good morning, it's Saturday. It's actually the day of the royal wedding. Normally on a Saturday morning I do a greenhouse update on Instagram and I do it across multiple different stories. And today I thought it might be better if I actually just do it all in one video. So let's give that a go. So starting on the left of my greenhouse I have my tomato plants. They're actually doing a lot better now than they did when we had the cold spell and the beast from the east and all of that. All of my tomatoes looked a bit like this guy. Not much to them. Certainly didn't look like they'd grow into these sort of strong, tall plants that I've got here. And although quite a lot of them obviously aren't going to make it, I'm very happy with this little mini tomato forest I've got. There's 4 different varieties in here. I've got Gardener's Delight, because who doesn't? Orange Banana, because that's my favourite. Oxheart, which is a... I'm not sure if Oxheart is a tomato variety on its own actually. I was going to say beef tomato, but I think maybe that's wrong. And I've got Ananas, which was a gift and I'm not too sure much about it. But there we go. Down here I've got mostly brassicas, although these are charred, and they're obviously in desperate need of repotting. So I'd better do that today. I've got beets, chards, I think that's 2 sorts of cabbage and some more sprouts, and then at the back I've got a type of quick growing broccoli and some rocket. But that is obviously crying out for attention. Down here I've got my leeks, there's my pup at the back there. 2 trays of leeks, and there's 2 different sorts. One is called Musselburgh, which is quite common, and the other one is French, so beware my horrible mispronunciation. Bleu de Salers. I think actually they're related to each other. One is bred from the other one. I've got some cucumbers here. 5 of the 6 made it, so I'm happy with that. The variety is a Parisian pickling, so it's one of the small knobbly kinds. You can eat them, but you would more likely pickle them like a gherkin, which is my favourite way to eat cucumbers, so I'm happy with that. I've got 3 out of 6 dahlias from seed still living. This is my second attempt after the first lot got slugged. And then back up here I've got squash corner. This tray here is all winter squash, and there's 2 hiding at the back there as well. I've had horrible problems with germinating my squash this year, so this isn't actually all of them. There's another couple of varieties that I don't have any of, so I tried to sow 2 of each kind, and I should have ended up with something like 14 squash because I have far too many seeds. But several of them haven't germinated, so I'm going to resow those today. And I've got my summer squash at the back there. A couple of those are looking like they could go in the ground, so that might be a job for this afternoon. But again, I had horrible problems with germinating, and it is fresh seed, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But there we go. Whatever happens, you always have too many courgettes, so I'm not going to complain. Here I've got my sprouts. I did start off with full trays of these in little paper pots that I made, all mushed in the tray together, every kind of brassica, but that started to bother my love of categorising things, so I split them out. So these ones are just the sprouts, and if we quickly go over here, here are the other trays. So this tray here is 2 different sorts of cabbage. This is Golden Acre, which is a classic round summer cabbage, and this on the left is a spring cabbage. It's another French one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but that was quite old seed that I had, and I just sowed it just to see what would happen, so that's why there's only very few of those. Here I've got kale. So I had one sort of variety of kale, and that was Sutherland, and then somebody gave me a packet which was a mixed variety of 5 different sorts, so I've somehow ended up with 6 different varieties of kale. but you know, that's great. I'm not going to complain about that. And then there's another shelf just below them. So in here we've got broccoli and cauliflower. I've still got a very few sweet peas in a tray there, just in case some of the ones that I've planted out die. They're my backups. Same with the ranunculus over here, and one that I did plant out. I'm not sure if it got frazzled by the sun or eaten by slugs at this point, but it is dead, so I'm going to take another one of those up to the allotment today and plant it out. I have a bucket here with some compost and some seeds in. I can't remember what seeds I put in there, so I'm waiting for them to come out and find out. Lesson to be learned, folks, always label everything. Around here behind me I have some peas and beans, and they've obviously got very big, so they're on the list of things to plant out this afternoon. And then we've got the dahlia wall, so they're still in pots at the moment, all along here. As you can see, they're still all growing at very, very different rates. So the ones at the top, they're the ones that have grown the fastest. They've shot right up. In most cases, I still have less than 5 shoots. So I was hoping I'd get more than 5. And because you aren't supposed to let more than 5 grow, you can cut off the extra ones and root them. And then I'd had even more dahlias, but no such luck so far. So that's the biggest ones at the top, slightly smaller ones here, and then the slow pokes at the back. This one hasn't got any shoots at all. I'm not going to worry about that yet, because until very recently this one didn't either. So that's all my dahlias. Recent addition to the greenhouse, this is sweet corn. The varieties double red, and as you can see a little bit already, there's red coloration coming through on the stems. I'm very excited by that because I've not grown sweet corn properly before. So can't wait to see those grow. And then in here I've got some sunflowers, and the variety is Sunzilla, and it's one that's supposed to get stupidly big, really, really tall and really, really big seed heads. And I'm growing those for a competition in the summer to see who can grow the largest sunflower head. So my bet's placed on these. I'm hoping they're going to do well. And at the front, kind of opposite in scale, we've got the really big sunflowers, and then the tiny Millothry, which you might know better as cucamelons. They seem to be a bit slow to grow. And this one at the back, with the support around it, it got very, very leggy, which is why that's like that. So I've got true leaves on those and not much else at the moment. And then finally, there's the top shelf over here, which is a lot of geraniums. And I'm probably going to keep all those for my at-home garden. I've got them as plug plants. They were a really nice present, and I'm probably just going to fill up my garden at home. I don't know if you'll be able to see through the glass. There's some hanging baskets at the back there. I might put them in there, and in pots all around my garden. So there we go. Saturday the 19th of May, greenhouse update.